The Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, requires each state to develop a State Performance Plan Annual Performance Report, the SPPAPR, that evaluates the state's efforts to implement the requirements and purposes of the IDEA and describes how the state will improve its special education programs. The SPPAPRs include indicators that measure child and family outcomes and other indicators that measure compliance with the IDEA requirements. The second part of the IDEA, Part B, governs how special education and related services are provided to children with disabilities ages 3 to 21. The indicators in Part B of IDEA fall into three monitoring priority areas: provision of a free, appropriate public education, or FAPE, in the least restrictive environment, the LRE; state exercise of general supervision, including child find, effective monitoring, the use of resolution meetings, mediation, and a system of transition services; disproportionate representation of racial ethnic groups in special education and related services to the extent the representation is the result of inappropriate identification. The South Carolina Office of Special Education Services must set targets on the indicators that involve student performance. We have a series of recorded presentations in order to get stakeholder feedback on the proposed targets. This presentation discusses Indicator 4. Indicator 4 is about suspension and expulsion specifically. Indicator 4A measures the percent of districts that have a significant discrepancy in the rate of suspensions and expulsions of greater than 10 days in a school year for children with IEPs. Indicator 4B measures the percent of districts that have both a significant discrepancy by race or ethnicity in the rate of suspensions and expulsions of greater than 10 days in a school year for children with IEPs, and policies, procedures, or practices that contribute to the significant discrepancy and do not comply with requirements relating to the development and implementation of IEPs, the use of positive behavioral interventions and supports, and procedural safeguards. Notice with Indicator 4B, a district must meet both of those requirements to be considered as having a significant discrepancy. This is separate and apart from significant disproportionality, which looks at particular racial ethnic groups being at a considerably greater risk for in-school and/or out-of-school suspension. This slide shows the historical data for the state's Indicator 4A and 4B targets and actual suspension and expulsion rates for 2016 through 2019. Again, 4A represents the percent of districts that have a significant discrepancy in the rate of long-term suspensions and expulsion, and 4B represents the percent of districts that meet both long-term suspension expulsion rates of racial ethnic students with disabilities and policies, procedures, and practices that contribute to the significant discrepancy. This slide shows our proposed targets for indicators 4A and B, starting with 2020 through 2025. In order to achieve the proposed SPP targets for suspensions and expulsions, the Social Emotional Learning, or SEL team at the Office of Special Education Services developed this goal to guide our work. As an SEL team, we plan to provide resources and supports to LEAs, or local education agencies, so that LEAs can build capacity to decrease the number of suspensions and expulsions and reduce the risk for significant discrepancy. The SEL team plans to accomplish this goal through these listed actions. These actions are designed to support efforts in keeping students in the classroom, so they have continued access to rigorous instruction. Our intention in this presentation was to provide you with information about the State Performance Plan, the newly proposed targets for Indicator 4A and 4B, and the SEL team's goal and activities. We hope this information will enable you to have a richer understanding of our plan. We look forward to your feedback. Thank you.